as you can see, I have returned to my natural habitat, which means the video quality will return to being slightly less worse, and we will be back to your regularly scheduled content. I know I did promise you guys some more political videos, and for the 5 of you that actually watch my channel for my political views, I will probably be doing a response to the State of the Union this week, and there will be some other political videos and more research-oriented videos in the pipeline. But today I am jet-lagged all to hell, and I just did not have it in me. So this video is going to be a review of Season 1, Episode 13 of Star Trek Discovery, Past is Prologue. This episode was honestly such a mixed bag, and I personally think that it was significantly worse than last week's episode, which means that Star Trek Discovery is continuing in its trend of being wildly inconsistent in terms of quality of both the writing and general storytelling of this series. I thought that there were some okay moments to this episode, but overall it was deeply flawed, and I hated the ending. I hated the ending. So, if you've not seen this episode, please go watch it, because if you care about spoilers, I don't want to ruin it for you. But if you don't care about spoilers, let's jump right in. So the episode kind of picks up where the previous episode left off, which was Lorca escaping and revealing that he is evil Lorca, and this episode starts out with him telling everyone that he has a plan, as he releases his people from the Agonizers, and they go to take over the throne room and overthrow the Emperor. That's their goal. First, though, we get a nice showdown between Lorca and evil Stamets in the micellar lab, and Lorca finds Stamets hiding in a wall. Stamets immediately basically just says, "Oh, I hoped you were dead." And we get some more funny interactions between the two of them. I actually thought that was kind of a strong part of the episode. And basically Lorca reveals that he escaped via an ion storm that transported him to the other universe. And he goes on this long, stupid rant about fate and destiny, and it's clear that Lorca's even more of an ideologue with delusions of grandeur than we thought he was, so it just makes him so much more ridiculous and even less of a believable character. He's just a caricature at this point. He's just a cartoon villain. I was honestly kind of disappointed, because I thought the setup for a more nuanced character was there, and we did not get that. No, we did not. We get a showdown with the Emperor after Michael Burnham and the Emperor appear to have betrayed each other again, and Michael escapes off into the Jeffries tubes, or whatever they call them in the evil universe. And so we get this showdown where she comes down guns a-blazing, and he and his people just shoot and kill all of her people, and then she uses an emergency transport to get the best of him and disappear, and he turns to Stamets and says, "Why didn't you warn me she could do that?" I'm sorry, you were like a high-ranking official in both universes, and you don't know what a site-to-site transport is? It's not something you conceived of, that she might have something like that rigged up in case exactly this happened with any of the people keen to murder the Emperor and take her place? I mean, come on, it was so obvious that that was a possibility, and you're acting like Stamets had some duty to tell you the fucking obvious? Come on. It was ridiculous. And then, of course, the Stamets-Lorca interaction is pretty short-lived, because once they get up to the throne room, he basically just tells him that his usefulness has been outweighed by the risk of keeping him alive. We do get a really fun scene, though, where Lorca basically details how he's going to shove him into the micellar core, and it's going to be poetic irony with the scientist being destroyed by his own research. And then Lorca just says, "Lol, JK, I hate poetry," and has that one the evil version of that one stupid security officer that got just beaten to shit by the tardigrade. Yeah, that one. So he just has her shoot him instead, and it's just this kind of surprising, funny moment, and one of the few highlights of this very mediocre episode. Then, back on Discovery, we find out that the micellar network is degrading, and if it's destroyed, all life in all universes will be destroyed, because of course it will. And so they have to figure out a way to save it, and at first they think the only way is to sacrifice Discovery and everyone on it, and oh no, it's a no-win scenario. Good thing no one on this crew believes in no-win scenarios, and of course, It's the most obvious Kirk reference in the history of obvious Kirk references, and just another reminder of how much worse this show is. And then they just beat that dead horse. They make the same reference like over and over and over, and it just ceases to have any meaning. And so when Saru gives his rousing speech, I think he's the first one to say that. I don't even remember who says it first, and I don't care. Oh my god, it was stupid. So then there is an interaction between Saru and Lorca over the comm, and Lorca basically tells him that he's going to spare them because Burnham joined his side. And then, of course, Burnham is tricksy, and they had some kind of sign between the two of them for what this plan was going to be. And then the plan was put into action, and basically there's this just cheesy-ass showdown on the bridge. It's this cheesy extended fight scene with lots of kicking and punching, and it just goes on and on and on. It kind of reminded me of that really silly throne room scene in The Last Jedi with all the Red Knights, where it was just so cheesy, and it just kept going. And so here, it just kept going. And then, of course, Michael gets him in a position where she can kill Lorca when it's just the three of them left alive. And then she's too good because she's Starfleet, so she says, "Oh no, we would have helped you find your way home if you'd asked, because that's who we are, that's who I am. Yeah, I'm not gonna kill you." And the Emperor's like, "Yeah, I will," and then fucking stabs him from behind, and then they shove him into the micellar core, and he just dies. And then they take down the containment field for the core, and just as the enemy soldiers that are remaining of Lorca's people are encroaching on the throne room, the Emperor turns and, you know, Georgiou's had a change of heart, and she says, "Go home, go, Michael Burnham, find a way home." And then when the transporter is starting to work and Michael is being brought back on Discovery, she rescues Georgiou at the last minute, probably because she can't stand the idea of losing her again, and they had this, like, cute little connection thing going on. So then they get back aboard Discovery, and all is well! Huzzah! They make it through the micellar network back into their universe by driving through the micellar core of the other ship and making it just explode, of course. And so we get to see the stupid security officer die pointlessly again, which, okay, alright, cool. And, of course, they make it back, and everyone's okay, but then they find out it's 9 months too late, and the Klingons have won the war! Oh no, what will Discovery do next? Oh my god! It just, oh my god, when you lay this episode all out, it's just so much that they tried to pack into one episode, and the ending is so stupid. You don't have to keep raising the stakes and raising them with no real payoff like this. I'm tired of the Klingon War plotline. It could have been so easily de-escalated from this point. Now Michael has the tools because she's negotiated with the Vok in the Mirror Universe and understands Klingons better. Like, there's all kinds of ways they could make this Klingon War storyline end, and instead they are further entrenching it, and I just hate it. I just hate it so much, because I was starting to think maybe I was wrong about this show. Maybe this show could be okay. Maybe it was just a really slow start with a really dumb first few episodes, and the writers secretly were good, and everything was going to be fine, and part of me was like almost excited for this week's episode, thinking that it was finally going to get good. And no, it didn't. It was, oh my god, it was so much worse than last week's episode. I was so thoroughly disappointed and just mad. I'm mad about it. I did not like this episode. There were some strong moments. I really did actually think they did a good job building the connection between evil Philippa Georgiou and Michael Burnham, and so I thought it was bittersweet when she was going to sacrifice herself. But then, of course, Burnham saved her, and now I have no idea what they're going to do with her. Throw her in the brig? You can't trust her. She's the emperor of the evil Terran Empire. You think she's going to switch over to the Starfleet way of thinking just because her adoptive daughter's good universe twin wants her to? No, come on. There was so much potential to finally get this series going in the right direction, and at first when they said that they overshot it, I was so excited, because I thought they were going to just switch it up and be like, oh, we're post-Voyager now, you have to go navigate the future now. That would have been really interesting and would have made the show feel way less anachronistic, would have opened it up to so much more stuff. But no. Also, I thought maybe they would turn the lights on now that stupid light-sensitive Lorca is gone, but no, it's still way too dark and too gritty, and it just doesn't feel like Star Trek, and I'm just so disappointed because they were so close. They were like good adjacent, and then they just did it again with the just wildly inconsistent episodes. And I'm tired of writing these waves. I've totally stopped paying for it. I just watch it on Netflix now via means. That's all I'm gonna say, because I'm not gonna pay for this shit anymore. Yeah. So I know this is probably my rantiest review of Star Trek Discovery so far, but the channel is called Rants, so you know what you signed up for here. Overall, let me know what you thought about this video and this episode in the comment section down below. If you like my videos, subscribe. If you don't, I'm sure you will tell me. That is all I have for you though, so until next time, Wiedersehen.